that game left off. Let's go to New Orleans, 9 versus 10. Got to win to continue the dream. That's what they call the Canadian tuxedo, Steve. Little denim on denim. Brandon Ingram arrives. Zion warming up. Said Tuesday feels like he's physically ready. Just some mental hurdles to feel like he's ready to play. January 2nd, the last time we saw him in a game, and it's going to be the last time we see him this year because Lou Dort, he's a confident player. You love to see it. He had 20 in the first half. They're 10-4 when he gets 20. Trey Murphy III, 4-3. Pelicans had a strong kick to the locker room here off that three, and then a turnover and transition, a block of Brandon Ingram, but Jones is there with a putback. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander held to 7 at the half, the fewest this season. But this is a superstar. Shai with the pull-up, down 4. Shai with the step back. Give me all 3 of these. The Thunder down 1. Later in the third, we're now tied. SGA. Who would go by their initials, Steve? Pretentious behavior. 2-point lead. The handles. And he hangs, challenged by Valanciunas. What an incredible bucket. 17 in the third after he had just 7 at the half. 7 to go in the ball game. 2-point game. Valanciunas. Corner 3, that's pure. 6 minutes to go. Josh Giddey. This guy's a star. Jalen Williams.
Big one.
Pulls from 3. You said it at the time, Steve, watching this one. Big one, and it was. Thunder now leading. 2-point game. The thin man. Brandon Ingram with a miss. And the putback. But this Thunder team, as Shai said, they've been in a ton of close games, and they don't blink. Ingram hits the jumper. 2-point game. Ingram has it stolen. SGA. Coast to coast. Kind of 1-on-3. That's fine. Tie ball game. On the other end. Ingram will pull. That's cash. They retake the lead. Under a minute to go. Gilgeous-Alexander. What a tough hit. Thunder up, under 30 seconds to go. 4-point lead late. It's going to take something miraculous. Ingram, he's trying to get the and one to make it a 4-point play. They don't get the foul call. You tell me. I don't think Dort touched him. That's a tough challenge, though, man, because the slightest tap on the arm, and it could be called. After free throws get made, Herb Jones trying to hit C.J. McCollum with a head of steam. It's thrown away, and that'll do it for the home team. As the Thunder pull this one out, a huge second half by Giddey, who's 20 years old, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They were held to 19 points on 38% from the floor in the first half, but after the break, 44 on 61% from the floor. They'll travel to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves Friday night, trying to earn the 8th seed.
Free throws, because those are possessions that you've just got to put points on the board. And then more importantly, those possessions when you don't even get a shot because you're not giving yourself a chance to get an offensive rebound, and you're allowing Chicago to get easy ones in the open floor. So that's really that stretch right there where this game got away from them. Chicago started to feel confident, and Zach LaVine was special.
Look, I enjoy all of your analysis always. I think we could just narrow this down, though, to don't miss 18 free throws. I mean, that's pretty simple, isn't it?
Very true.
All right, let's pivot to the game we just followed. I love what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said to Lisa afterwards. We've got good habits. This is a really young team who, as Shai points out, had been in a ton of close games. They're in another one on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive. What did you see from them that you'd say is the most important attribute that they're displaying at this point?
The same thing I've seen all year in this team. This is one of the most entertaining teams in the NBA because of how well coached they are, the young talent. The word that comes to mind, though, to answer your question is poise. They just never look flustered. They're a relaxed group, and they know that they've got the best offensive player on the floor. Pretty much every night they take the court, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the ability to be the best player on the floor. Not every team in the league can say that. And I think that gives them this confidence that they know no matter how the game goes, and they're going to be runs, and they found themselves in some murky water there in the fourth quarter, it doesn't matter because of this quiet confidence that they have not only in themselves, in their star player, but also I think in their coach. There's a clear connection there. And that's why they're so much fun to watch. And that, to me, is what stood out. The way they weathered that storm in the fourth quarter, Brandon Ingram making big shots, Valanciunas making big plays. They find themselves down late on the road, yet they never sped up. They continued to just play the way that they play, which is with a very high IQ, and they make sure that the ball moves to the next open jersey, and they trust each other. And that's why they're so fun to watch. I think they've got a great shot to go on the road and actually get this 8th spot by going to Minnesota.
I love what you said about the poise. They're the second youngest team in the league, but to your point, they just never get fast. They're always patient. It really is fun to watch them play. And it's fun to watch the Pelicans play when they've got all hands on deck. And throughout the year, you alluded to them being a team that the caveat was you get Zion back and you got a big three there of Ingram, CJ, and Zion. That's a threat, man. But look, we just don't see the guy again after January the 2nd. And what do we make of all this? It's a frustration, I'm certain, for him and for them. But from your seat, what are we looking at with this squad?
It's just so difficult to watch because the entire ceiling of the franchise rests with Zion Williamson's health. It's just the way it is. I mean, he's such a unique force. There's nothing quite like him in the league. And you and I talked before the season, and I said, if you roll out with those three guys as your big three, the way that the West is set up with the number of injuries that all of those teams dealt with, all of the issues, and roster turnover and trades, you roll out there with those three guys, you've got a great chance to make a legitimate run at winning the Western Conference. Unfortunately, this unique force that they have was just not able to get on the court at all in the second half of the season. So we are left again going into the summer knowing what is possible, but obviously having a lot of skepticism that they're going to see it. And I hope I'm dead wrong and Zion can come out there and play 70, 75 games next year and let us see what the ceiling for this team is, because they've got an elite level point guard, a big time wing, bucket getter, and then they've got Zion Williamson, and there's only one of him in the league, and they have him. So that's unfortunately where we're left once again heading into the summer. We don't exactly know because we don't know what the future for Zion Williamson is going to be health-wise.
All right, Tim, sit tight. We'll revisit the games coming up on Friday with you in just a moment, all right? We'll talk to Tim in a bit. Plenty more post-game coverage on the way. Bulls and Thunder go on the road and keep their playoff hopes alive. Plus, 2 weeks from the NFL draft, Colts have a chance to end their quarterback carousel, why their plans might not include a